Hi everyone, it's Dr. Rich Mclean. I've got an important message from me, who has been the subject of literally a conspiracy to murder and a monstrous victimisation of me by the Australian government. I'm asking your help today. The pay IDs below flashed on the screen. This is the situation. I've been catastrophically framed, and I've lost millions upon millions of dollars. I don't want millions and millions of dollars. Indeed, I just want a life free from persecution. Now, here's how it basically happened. I'll just sum it up. I can't go to police. I can't be a whistleblower. I can't complain to anywhere. The gaslighting, the catastrophic character assassination has been so successful. All of my family won't support me. I am homeless. In February 2021, over 11 months ago, I suicided in a public hospital, Werribee Mercy, and since that time, and that was from government, systemic, prolonged over years oppression. It wasn't from mental illness. It was because my spirit was crushed. Now, there's a few things that have happened here. Since that time, I've been forced to live on JobSeeker, even though I had been on a DSP for other reasons before. In that whole year, I've made, from Centrelink, $22,000. In that time, I've spent $18,000 on rent. That left me with $4,000 to try and construct this fight against the government and stick up for myself. I've had it, and I'm requesting the public support because I'm going to go to the Prime Minister's office direct, and I'm going to request not an admission of guilt, but a compensation scheme in the CDD scheme, which is a government-decided compensation scheme which compensates for administrative neglect of systemic organisations. What that means is that all the money that I've lost from this heinous, catastrophic maiming, shaming, blaming and victimisation of me is that I will receive justice. Right now, I have not money for medication. I've just found out I've got cancer. It's here in my nose, it's here on the side, it's here just under my eye. I need serious medical intervention. I haven't got my usual medications. I sometimes don't have enough for food, or rarely. I'm squatting. In, what's the date today? 28th. On the 14th, I owe 2 months in rent. That's 1646 by 2. If that doesn't happen, the police are going to come and take me away. I've been threatened with being incarcerated, permanent award of the state, and they are going to frame me with crimes I'm not responsible for. I'm easily exploitable because I'm gay. I've been a very public person, and I've spent 25 plus years acting in altruism to help marginalised people. Please look at richmclean.com.au, see my art, see the talks I've done, see the amazing amount of compassion I have for humanity. I helped tens, 100,000 people. I wrote a book. I've got a video after my person, but I have been stigmatised, ostracised, and utterly desecrated and rejected and destroyed. After my suicide, I was put on the dole, released with no help, and since that time, I have not even seen a psychologist. That's more than a bad public mental health system. That's a mechanism with which to delay, defer, deny, and to aid and abet my death by kicking the can down the road, in that I will take my own life. Now, as a suicide survivor, they knew that was possible. I'm being attacked via government agencies, via proxy, in the hip pocket. I have letters on killim.info, which is my whistleblower website, where I will be launching this to the federal government. And I'll just sum up briefly. From AFCA, I've lost $1 to $2 million in overdue determinations, and they watched as I became unwell, financially vagrant, and after that, they blackmailed me not to contact them and act through an agent. Now, I blew the whistle on them and they cancelled it. I lost my HCF insurance. I left my place of work as an allied health professional and registered therapeutic support because I knew I had the suspicion something was bad going on, something bad. Things weren't going right for me. First of all, my former partner, who was an ASIO agent, owed me a separation, which I tried to get justice for. Then I was involved in a violent affray with VOCAT, and it was pinned on me, even despite the evidence that the police had in video. Lost compensation there. Then I acknowledged in my doctorate study my child sexual abuse, where I was the victim, and I decided to get it atoned and acknowledged at least somewhere for my own sanity and mental health, having had no one else in the entire world acknowledge it. I went to the Geelong Magistrates Court and she wrote to me, "You were doomed to fail." Now, that's colourful language. Still not understanding, I went forward. I worked for 2 years with a client who was a child rape and incest survivor. I dictated and narrated his story for his VOCAT case. When all this stuff happened and I was getting more rationally paranoid for the things that were happening, my computer was intercepted. In that time, my web hoster maliciously destroyed my whole website and backed up, and all the evidence backed up. The hospital didn't make an atonement for the death in hospital and the abandonment of duty of care. That's a $1 million case. The government condoned my suicide as nothing to see, and that is abhorrent because I have severe memory problems and a bit of thought disorder from the lack of blood that was in my body that's affected my hippocampus. So there's AFCA, $1 to $2 million. The Australian Human Rights Commission, they free kicked a $1 million super and TPD case to the other team. Why? Because of the government, the conspiracy, the movement in place to protect power, money, and privilege. I am a kind-hearted person, and I've done the very best I can in an uphill battle my whole life. Now, there's another case which is before Comcare and the NDIA, which is my insurance work cover, and they've rejected that. The guy at the head of Comcare rejected it, and WorkSafe didn't help me. But as it turns out, the head at Comcare was the old head at WorkSafe. So this is absolute corruption. I am banned from police. I am banned from litigation. I have been scapegoated. My supports that come into my life suddenly disappear. I have a beautiful dog. I'm not suicidal. The clinic that I was released to after my suicide saw me with a psychiatrist only twice in 11 months. The first was after 3 months, and I'd been denied critical medication. That's an abhorrent way to treat someone, and I was forced to live in poverty for a year. The second time was 11 months later, and they only invited me in just to kick me off. Now, I have tried the legal help centres. I have tried all these institutions. I just list a few of them that have acted in conspiracy, and a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice is a serious fucking crime. So with my complaint with the GP years ago, which was valid, and drove me mad with the gaslighting, the Health Complaints Commissioner, the Mental Health Complaints Commissioner, APRA, the NHPAPC, the police, the Federal Police, IBAC, the Victorian Inspectorate, and the Ombudsman. You go on, and I'm repeating the same broken dream. They are delaying, deferring, and denying my justice and prosperity in order to aid and abet my death. I'm not going to die. I enjoy life. I enjoy the breeze. I hope to give back one day to the community when I can get my basic needs met, and I promise I'll eat my left testicle if the people who help me now in this dire situation by financial donation will get that back and more. Like I said, I don't need money. I don't need the millions and millions that's potentially coming to me. I need immediate support because this government and the finance minister, Birmingham, and the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet are going to delay, defer and deny this until they investigate it. Until then, I need money to survive, eat, pay rent, and I refuse to be incarcerated by police that I can't report crime to. I can't report rape, murder, tax evasion, fraud, coercion, sexual and financial slavery. It goes on. It's an absolute systemic and brutal victimisation, which is against the law, of myself. One person opposing the whole world. I have tried the Australian Human Rights Commission. They deny me. I have tried the Victorian Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission. They reject every single complaint I've ever had. I've tried the Mental Health Legal Centre, tried the Mental Health Complaints Commissioner. These systems and institutions with a .vic.gov.au or a .gov.au are absolutely framed to destroy me and aligned with a movement to desecrate me in all ways. It had been happening for years, and then I had the suicide in hospital. It was deemed fatal and a lethal injury. I now have a brain disorder and forced to live in abject poverty for over a year, and I now have cancer on the face. So if you believe in justice and you can acknowledge that the work on richmclean.com.au and my extraordinary lifelong passion for art and being authentic and being genuine with my mark making, with my talking, with my supporting other people, you'll learn that I'm no criminal, I'm not a bad guy, and that the powers that be are protecting those in positions of privilege and power with reputations at stake. Mine's been absolutely desecrated. I've got nothing. They're hoping I'll die before justice. However, I have got letters from a lot of agencies. First of all, the Finance Minister, Birmingham. I've got my NDIA refuses to pay my receipts. I'm both a therapist and a participant of the NDIS, and they refuse to pay the last 50 invoices or something, which would have seen me out of this situation. I've got a letter from Greg Hunt, who silences evidence. There's a lot of silencing of evidence before a court. But I can't get to court because I'm blocked from the police, I'm blocked from legal aid, blocked from Justice Connect, banned from all the major law firms. I am catastrophically blacklisted. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know this. I'm a sentient being, and even if I was a really bad person, no one in the world deserves this amount of systemic oppression and the absolute desecration of one singular person systemically from local, state and federal agencies, and I am going to hold them to account. You can bet on that. And I'm going to do it with the help of people who can acknowledge my work and who can acknowledge the injustice that's happened. you can go to the website killim.info and you can read all about it. If my application to the CDD scheme to the Finance Minister and the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet fail, I am going to have to take this case to the Supreme Court or the Federal Circuit Court. In that way, I'm going to need all the help I can get. I'm going to need the help of people, family, friends, colleagues, everyone. This is a really important case. It's gonna turn this country upside down. People used to call me delusional. That's why they locked me up. And when they released me, misdiagnosis, of course, because they knew, they had to admit that I was not psychotic and not delusional, and in fact, I was grossly aware of what's happening on. Now, I can't describe the amount of agencies that have towed the party line in thousands of pawns in positions of privilege and a general amount of audacity that kicks the can down the line and further desecrates me. It's death by 1,000 cuts. I oppose it. I oppose and I object to this amount of persecution. I am a sentient being. I am a worthy being. I am a resilient person, and I wish for a peaceful life, and I hope to give back to the community once again. In addition to that, everyone who helps me now will be rewarded when I get justice. And if they do happen to kill me, you'll be in the death. I'm not going to kill myself, but things may happen. I've had death threats at the window. I can't describe the enormity of what's happened to me. It's hard to contain in my head, but I've put the pay ID down below. Please, please, please check out richmclean.com.au for the 25-year-long love and passion of sticking up for people. Now it's my turn. People need to stick up for me. I've been victim blamed. I've been heinously framed, and I can prove every single thing. And I thank you for listening. And if you can please, please just pay ID $20 if you can. Leave your name too, because I'm going to pay you back and then some. I just want a life free from oppression, and this is not sustainable. My life is not sustainable as it is. I can't beg for your help enough. Please look at richmclean.com.au. If you can't help, buy some art. If you would like to, share this. That would help me. Please don't ignore me, and I'm easily exploitable by my public profile and hundreds of speeches. Hi, Crystal. That's Crystal the dog. She's awesome. She keeps me. Being either not heteronormative or having used drugs in the past or all these other things. Having a apparent mental illness. And now I've got a brain injury. I've been framed in so many ways, and as an extortionist, no further, at that time. But money's never been my currency. I needed enough of it, but I don't actually want it. So please look at richmclean.com. Look at the website killim.info, because that gives you all the information. And please, I ask for your support and bridge this space for me so that I can recover, take care of my health, give back to the community, have some happiness, and take care of my beautiful dog. Thank you for your help and time, and if you can share this, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Wait on, stop time it. Go back. This is what we do every night. We have the crown mince. She loves her crown mince every night before bed. Will we have one? Now one for me. One for me. And one for you. Crown mince. Oh, yum. Oh, that's the shit. She goes nuts for them. She's a beautiful girl. She's Crystal. I love you. Crystal. I love you. Yeah, you're a beautiful girl. And you love your crown mince. Everyone have a crown mint and have a good sleep.